Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mina White, and this week I will share with you all a topic that is very important to me, that is very dear to my heart. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the act of self-love. So let's start with the simplest definition of self-love. What is self-love? Self-love is an act of loving yourself correctly, an act of taking care of yourself correctly that will positively benefit both you and everyone around you. This is like the simplest definition of self-love. I have another definition of self-love. It said self-love is an act of understanding the true essence of your being, accepting who you are, the way you are, and intentionally living every day to be the best version of yourself. I want you to pause this video and listen to that definition of self-love and reflect on it. Now, the second definition of self-love I have here, or rather the third definition of self-love I have here is self-love is having high regard for yourself, staying true and loyal always to yourself. Loving yourself correctly will enable you love other persons correctly. Just like the Bible said in Leviticus 19 verse 18, it said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you need to love yourself correctly to enable you love your neighbors correctly. All right. I also said self-love is an act of taking necessary actions to support your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Encouraging yourself to be the best version of yourself is an act of self-love. So these are the definition of self-love. All right. Now, how do you love yourself? How do you genuinely love yourself? I wrote down 5 steps that will guide you to love yourself. Now, the first step on loving yourself is being aware of yourself. Self-awareness. Self-awareness, like I would like to say self-consciousness. Being aware of who you are, the way you are, is the first step of loving yourself. You are aware of, this is who I am. This is who God has created me to be. This is how God has created me to be. You're being conscious of who you are, what you are. Okay, this is an act of self-love. You've come to terms with, this is who I am, and nobody can change that except God. The second step of loving yourself is self-acceptance. You need to accept all that you are. You need to accept your body, your personality, your character. You need to accept all of this. And this is who I am. This is who God has created me to be. There is nothing I can do about it. Now, when you've accepted who you are, if there are areas in your life that you need to improve on, go ahead and improve those areas of your life. If there are areas that you need to work on, go ahead and improve those areas. Go ahead and work on those areas of your life. Accept yourself, accept who you are, accept your body, accept your character, accept your personality. This is who I am. Then if there are areas that you need to improve on, then go ahead and improve it. Okay? That is the second step on loving yourself. The third step on loving yourself is self-development. If you've been following up my videos, you know that I am big on self-development. I always tell ladies, I always tell people close to me, develop yourself. Be the best version of yourself. In the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 1 year, when you reflect back, you find out that this is the step that I took 5 years ago that made me who I am today. Be big on developing yourself. Because in this story, you are the main character. The way you handle yourself, the way you play the role in this story determines if you'll be proud of it in the next 5 years. All right. So be big on self-development. Never relent from learning new things. Always learn new things. Okay. Be key on growing yourself. So the fourth way of loving yourself is self-care. Taking care of yourself, both your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual self. Take care of yourself. If you need to rest, go ahead and rest. If you need to go for shopping, go ahead and shop for new things. I mean, feed the body that works the money. Okay, go ahead and take yourself out for shopping. If you need to exercise, go ahead and exercise. If you need to pray, take a moment, clear your desk and pray. Okay, you need to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. A lot of persons are more focused on taking care of themselves physically. They are all about traveling, buying new clothes, but there are other areas of your life that needs to be taken care of. Yeah, buying new clothes, traveling, it's good, it's very beautiful. Yes, like I said, feed the body that works the money. But as much as you want to take care of yourself physically, I want you also to take care of yourself spiritually, take care of yourself physically, take care of yourself emotionally. Okay, take care of yourself all around. Cleaning your environment is an act of self-care. Eating healthy is an act of self-care. So take care of yourself. Self-care is an act of self-love. All right. Now, the fifth step rather on loving yourself is contentment. Be satisfied with what you have, what you are, and what you will become. Life is in stages. Do not be in a hurry to achieve things. Do not be in a rush. Discontent has led a lot of people to early graves. Discontent has led people to become thieves. Discontent has led people into become prostitute. Discontent has led people into becoming what they are not even proud of. Rather, being content will save you a lot of time. It will save you a lot of energy. They said money doesn't guarantee happiness, but I'll tell you what guarantees happiness. Contentment does. When you're content with the little that you have, you're not jealous of what your neighbor has. You are grateful for what your neighbor has. Okay? You may not be where you want to be or where you think you should be, but be grateful for where you are right now, because where you are right now is what will take you to where you want to be. Be content with the little that you have. Contentment is a basic way of loving yourself. All right? Try as much as possible to be content with what you have. If you have 1,000 naira in your account, be contented. Manage the 1,000 naira. All right? Now, I wrote down a few things here. What self-love is not. I wrote down what self-love is not. So we're talking about self-love, and sometimes I hear people talk, when I hear people mistake self-love for some of these things. Self-love is not putting yourself ahead of others. Rather, self-love is not putting yourself ahead of others. Self-love is not being self-centered. Self-love is not being selfish. Self-love is not being proud. Self-love is not being rude. Self-love is not being competitive. Self-love is not being braggadocious. Rather, self-love is an act of being kind to yourself. Self-love is an act of being gentle and soft to yourself. All right? Self-love is an act of being patient with yourself. Self-love is an act of being loving to yourself. Okay? I want you, like I said earlier, I said in this story you are the main character. So how the role you play in this story determines where you live, how the story ends. The role you play determines how the story ends. So I have two exercises that I want us to practice. I have two exercises that I want us to practice in this video. If you're watching this video, I would like you to carry out this exercise. So the first exercise here is get a pen and a book. Now on this first page, I want you to write all of your weakness. Write all of it in this first page. Then the second page, I want you to write your strengths, all of your strengths. Write it on the second page. And now reflect on all of your weakness that you've written. Okay, now think of the best way that you can improve on this weakness. Think of the best way that you can turn your weakness to strength. Just think of the best possible way that you can turn these weaknesses to strength. Now look at your strength. Think of the best possible way that you can improve on this strength. Yes, you can improve on your strengths. You cannot just say I'm good at this thing and you just leave it there. Think of the best possible way that you can improve on your strengths, and think of the best possible way that you can turn your weaknesses into becoming your strength. All right. Now the second exercise is, I have questions here. I have about 8 questions that I will ask you, and I want you to be as honest as possible with it. Reflect on these questions and try to be as honest as you can with these questions. So the first question is, what is your self-confidence like? When you are confident, it shows how much you love yourself, how much you've trained yourself, how much you have invested in yourself. Okay. Now the second question is, what is your self-esteem like? All right. Now the third question is, what do you do every day to become the best version of yourself? Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I lie down on my bed and I ask myself, Mina, what are you going to do today that is going to make yourself the best, that is going to make you the best version of yourself in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years? Do you understand? I'm challenging myself to do something that day, not to let that day go to waste. Okay. Now the fourth question here is, what do you do every day to develop yourself? The fifth question is, what books are you reading? They said reading is a way of exercising the brain muscles. So what books are you reading? How are you taking care of yourself mentally? How are you taking care of yourself spiritually? How are you taking care of yourself emotionally? I want you to reflect on these questions and give yourself the best possible answers. If you're not answering those questions correctly, then I think you need to check on that area. If you feel like, this place, I've not really thought about it, I've not really asked myself this question before, and I'm not giving myself the best possible answers to this question, then I think you need to start working on that area of your life. I hope you find this video very helpful, and don't forget to share this video to your friends. You might be helping someone. All right, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe please to subscribe to my channel. My name is Mina White. See you guys in my next video. Bye.